Welcome back to Marvelous Videos. I'm Rylan, and today we'll be looking at 11 lethal xenomorphs which have appeared in Alien's Fireteam Elite. More than 4 decades have passed since Ridley Scott first graced us with the first Alien film. It was a dark, introspective, thrilling, and compelling film. Even after 4 long decades, people have still been begging for one more game that packs the essence of the films, with the essential paranoia, dread, and claustrophobia. Amidst, of course, a deadly bunch of xenomorphs. The game Fireteam Elite seeks to fix this issue and bridge the gap between the satisfaction of killing aliens and maintaining a setting that is true to the source. It does, however, have a few technical issues that lacks a coherent in-game story. It is set 20 years after the events of Alien 3, in which Ripley sacrificed the last thing she had, her life. She did this by throwing herself into a furnace. According to Alien Infiltrator, a novel released as a prequel to the game, a scientist arrives at the Weyland Yutani controlled facility called the Pala Station. A warped staff and bureaucracy were testing biomaterial extracted from xenomorphs on humans and other living creatures. An infiltrator in the team had his own nefarious agenda and sought to spell disaster. The personnel at the facility received delivery of alien eggs for further experiments. However, things slip out of control. Fortunately, there's a team of ex-colonial Marines who could save the day. From the outset, the players have to create their own favorite avatar and assemble a loadout. There are 4 campaigns, and the armed force that you send to the facility is supposed to contain the infestation. Sadly, however, the directives or designs don't change a lot through the 4 campaigns, making the game a tiny bit monotonous. However, if you're a fan of the franchise, you'll love to hunt down a bunch of xenomorphs. So, this video is dedicated to you guys. We will be exploring the nasty aliens that all appear in this game, and we shall also give you a few suggestions on how to take them down. So, ready to spill some green acidic blood? Well, let's get going. Before we go into today's analysis, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small step for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thanks. Now, on with the video.
Speedrun strat, let's go.
High speed incoming, get hot.
Yo, let's get it. Hold on.
Get some, Marines.
Oh my god, there's so many.
Number 1. Runners. The Runner, also called the Scout, Ox Alien, or even Dog Alien, spawned from a dog in Alien 3, as well as an ox in the film's special edition. As the name suggests, runners are quite agile and fast, and also have the capacity of spitting acid. Often considered to be a Stage 4 xenomorph, the runners transform into sentries after securing a hive and several hosts. While runners are slightly smaller and bulkier than regular xenomorphs born out of humans, the one we encounter in Fireteam 161 was more than 7 feet tall when standing in a bipedal stance. As we already know, xenomorphs acquire the physical traits of their host organism. Naturally, runners acquire the quadrupedal stance and digitrate hind legs, similar to an ox or a dog, and look different compared to xenomorphs spawned from humans. Another interesting feature about the runners is their brownish-red color, as opposed to the typical gray or black colors of the xenomorphs. Because of their quadrupedal stance, runners sacrifice strength for speed and agility. They also make ample use of their tails in order to stun their enemies. Unlike other chestbursters, runners are known to be fully formed when they come out of their hosts, and only grow in size after that. It is possible that they start to mature while inside the host. Likewise, all runners also follow similar attacking strategies, because they are lesser in number and cannot ambush their prey if it is too large or too many in number. Runner xenomorphs wait for the opportune moment to launch their attack, much like raptors or other pack hunters. On Fireteam 161, the dog alien killed everyone, sparing only Ripley, who was impregnated with a queen chestburster. In typical situations, a xenomorph drone would rather cocoon humans or the queen's ovomorphs and facehuggers, but it is quite a possibility that the dog alien killed humans to ensure the young queen's safety. In the game Alien vs. Predator 2, runners spawned from corporates and drones, spawned from colonial marines. In Primal Hunt, they spawned from the quadrupedal organisms of LV-1201. And in Fireteam Elite, runners maintain their distinct strengths and weaknesses, but rest assured, it's absolutely satisfying to splatter them. Runners are probably the least threatening xenomorphs in all of Fireteam Elite, but the issue is that they keep coming. They crawl through the ceilings, climb up the walls, and can run at you with fierce speeds. But then again, they are rather easy to kill. Number 2. Prowlers. The Prowlers, also known as the Jumpers, are a caste that appear in Fireteam Elite. Colonial Marines fight them on LV-895. As the name suggests, a Prowler loves to pounce on its victim, to pin them down before clawing out the victim's body. Although the Prowler resembles a runner, it has a blackish skin color, unlike a runner's brownish red. However, the mesoskeleton, or the insect-like exoskeleton, has hints of red, which suggests that a Prowler might be a special variant of the runner xenomorphs. It has a rather small head crest, and appears to be well armored. They lack the dorsal tubes or dorsal spines that are common on all xenomorphs, with the exception, of course, with the runners. Although they can stand and move on their hind legs, they prefer quadrupedal locomotion. These creatures don't attack the enemy alone, and hide amidst other xenomorphs. They use chaos to take their enemy by surprise at the desired moment. This could be attributed to the fact that Prowlers are not among the strongest of the xenomorphs, and they rely heavily on outmaneuvering and outpacing their opponents. Once they have pinned down an enemy, they start to claw their way into the victim's body, and in some cases, other xenomorphs join in on the attack. While their appearance does seem like a stage between a runner and a crusher, they lack the required strength of crushers. You might be surprised to know that the attacking strategy of a Prowler bears an uncanny resemblance to that of a hunter from the Left 4 Dead series, which also hides among more common enemies. Remember that they'd use the other xenomorphs as cover to get closer to you, so keep an eye out for the Prowlers. If possible, take them out before moving on to the others. Number 3. Spitters.
Jesus Christ! They're spitting acid! Fucking acid!
The Spitter, or Ranger, specialized in range attacks. Its primary mode of attack is by hurling huge quantities of acid from long distances, but that must have been already clear from its name. It was the United States Colonial Marine, Private J. Maw, who first encountered a Spitter on Archeon. J. Maw was a part of the crew at the USS Sephora from the game Aliens Colonial Marines. Although the Spitter killed Private Maw, it was later encountered by Private Peter O'Neill, Private Bella Clarison, and Corporal Christopher Winter. The Spitter's head crest is similar to that of a queen or a Praetorian. However, it is comparatively smoother and smaller. On either side of the cranium, we can see several yellowish-green pus-like pouches that store acid. The easiest way to kill a Spitter is by damaging these acid stores, but one should ensure that they are at a safe distance, or else the resultant explosion might kill the attacker or any other unfortunate soul that happens to be within the damage radius. Despite having long Praetorian-like tails, Spitters prefer their acid attack. Spitters have a bluish hue to their skin and possess sharp claws on their paws, a trait that's quite uncommon to other castes like lurkers and drones. Furthermore, they possess an extra rib. This is not seen in any other xenomorph species, or at least not yet. As discussed earlier, they maintain a safe distance in combat, hurl acid on their victims from long distances. While they weaken and engage the victims, other xenomorphs land close-range attacks. You may even call a Spitter a xenomorph equivalent of a sniper. They constantly change their vantage points, which makes it difficult to locate and shoot them. Two other monsters that attack in the same way as the Spitter are the Dilophosaurus from Jurassic Park and the Spitter from Left 4 Dead 2. Headshots work best against Spitter, but be safe and take cover if you choose to do so. Number 4. Praetorian. The Praetorians are essentially the royal guards of the queen. They remain close to her chamber and often guard the strategic locations of the hive. When not doing so, their sole function is to guard the queen herself. Just as drones and warriors look alike, Praetorians and the queens look quite alike. Praetorians have a large head crest in the shape of a crown that are considerably larger and stronger than both drones and warriors. They spit far larger amounts of acid than the drones or the runners, albeit at a shorter distance. But their primary weapon is the brute force and strength that they gain from their hulking bodies. They can easily take down a squad of colonial marines and prove to be quite a formidable enemy of the predators. Some are even known to be bulletproof. These are considerably smarter than other xenomorphs, with the exception of the xenomorph queen. Nonetheless, they don't need to carry out stealth or surprise attacks because their strength gives them enough confidence to win a direct and open attack. Praetorians are generally born out of Praetorian facehuggers, which only give birth to Praetorian chestbursters. However, they are sometimes known to transform from warriors. The queen chooses 15 warriors to become a Praetorian. These 15 warriors are fed the royal jelly, upon which they release pheromones. This makes other xenomorphs turn against them and attack these 15 warriors. During the course of this battle, usually, the only one who survives becomes the Praetorian. The chosen one transforms into a hulking 15-foot tall xenomorph. In case a hive loses its queen, this Praetorian rises up and transforms into a queen. A Praetorian called Crusher was introduced in Alien's colonial marines. These mean xenomorphs are also called chargers because they charge like a bull at high speed towards their victim. Crushers can cause internal hemorrhaging and bone fractures with the force and momentum of a successful attack. This blunt force trauma is enough to take down even armored vehicles. The Praetorian first appeared in the 1994 arcade game Alien vs. Predator and has managed to save a seat in the latest game of the franchise, Fireteam Elite. In this game, they do what the Hulk does best, seen in the Marvel movies. They smash. These hulking monsters are a tough nut to crack, and it takes a great deal of ammo to show them their rightful place. So, use your ammo wisely and aim at the weak points. Also, use drones that would show you those weak points. If all things go well, you'd be able to see the light of day. If not, I'm afraid it's the death sentence. Number 5. Burster. The Burster was met by the colonial marines of the USS Endeavour, which closely resembled the boilers from the 2013 game Alien's Colonial Marines. However, Bursters resemble runners in appearance and possess a male mesoskeleton as well as several acid-filled projections in their head and upper limbs. Unlike boilers, the Bursters don't deteriorate with time and are highly agile and fast. Bursters in Fireteam Elite are the time bomb that you should dread and maintain a safe distance from. Upon death, Bursters shower their vicinity with acidic blood, killing everyone in the radius. Of course, all other xenomorphs have acidic blood too, and when they die, they spill some of this blood. They have more pressurized acidic blood running through their veins. So, when you kill them, the spillage is spread across a larger area, and anyone within the blast radius will begin to lose health points with rapid speed.
Don't let it back in the pit!
Number 6. Drone. The xenomorphs resemble the societal structure of ants and bees, but the xenomorph society is far more complex and segregated. Their society is divided into several different castes or working classes. The commoner of the xenomorph society is the drones, or the working class. They perform several functions and are essentially the building blocks. The drone is considered a stage 3 xenomorph. It's the most common xenomorph adult found in the franchise and takes up several duties like that of a warrior, worker, or soldier. These 14-foot xenomorphs act like worker bees or ants and serve the hive in every way that they can. They not only keep the hive in good condition, but also secrete a gooey substance to help make the nest. Naturally, it serves as the first line of defense, construction workers for the hive, as well as capturer of hosts for further reproduction. The exact physical appearance and characteristics of a drone may vary, but they're all fast and quite tough guys who are intelligent enough to carry out premeditated attacks using stealth and surprise. They can also launch a direct and open attack. Even in death, a drone can be a formidable opponent. If enough damage is done to it, well, its pressurized bloodstream explodes and scatters acidic blood in the vicinity, injuring or killing any unfortunate beings who happen to be in the area. As mentioned earlier, Praetorians are usually created from drones, who ultimately turn into xenomorph queens. As far as their intelligence is concerned, well, they're at least as smart as dogs, and possibly more intelligent than chimpanzees. Drones modify and even evolve their attack tactics depending on the situation at hand. Like we previously mentioned, their attacking style ranges from stealth attacks to full frontal attacks. In fact, they're in such large numbers that they charge their victims in swarms, fighting even after losing one or two of their limbs. They tend to use camouflage to stay hidden from their enemies and wait for the enemy to come within the striking range before launching a fatal blow. This effective and efficient use of their environment best describes their acumen. As we know, the xenomorphs have a sort of hive mind, and the queen remotely controls all the other xenomorphs. Then again, it has to be noted that the drones can function independently as well in times of crisis and need. However, this kind of neutral independent makes them a bit awkward, but they can still plan and plot against their enemies. Facing drones in Fireteam Elite is essentially fulfilling, because we get to kill hordes of them, and the violence is quite satisfying. Drones in Fireteam Elite aren't much of a threat to even a novice team, but they do have a lot of health points. Furthermore, they come out of entry points, like airlocks, and they keep on coming. So, whenever you see one, ensure that you take it down, or else it'll take you down, along with its mates. Number 7. Eggs. The queen lays multitudes of eggs in a hive through a detachable ovipositor. However, she ditches the ovipositor only when she or her hive is seriously threatened. For example, when Sigourney Weaver, as Ellen Ripley, destroyed a hive in the 1986 film Aliens. These eggs are a lot more than a hollow shell that protects a facehugger. Their outer coating is made of a strong black leathery material, which is so sturdy that even when dropped from a tall building, it bounces back without even breaking. Furthermore, they come with roots attached to the ground that extract nutrients until a suitable host approaches. Once that happens, 4 petals open from the top and release a facehugger. The queen protects the hive along with the other xenomorphs like Praetorians. The veins surrounding the body of the egg symbolize that the ovomorphs are in fact living creatures in their own right. Also, these eggs seem to possess an extremely basic central nervous system, by virtue of which they detect a host. They may also possess some kind of an organ that smells or tastes nearby hosts. Apart from the usual eggs, there can be different varieties, like hyperfertile eggs, that contain more than one facehugger, the Praetorian egg that invariably gives birth to Praetorians, and more. The director's cut version of Aliens shows the process of egg morphing, which means that not just queens, but any xenomorph is capable of producing eggs. Interestingly enough, when H.R. Giger initially designed the eggs, he gave them a vaginal appearance, with an inner and outer vulva. But the producers complained that such an illusion would lead to the banning of the film in Catholic countries. Consequently, Giger added 2 more lobes, and the design was finally accepted. When playing the game, we strongly advise you to shoot them before they hatch. Number 8. 3. 3 was also called the test subject number 3 and Monica, named after its host, Monica Enright. It was a large xenomorph that existed on LV-895 and was born in 2202. Because 3 was infected with the black liquid, it could sustain heavy and prolonged gunfire, and was more aggressive and stronger than the other drones. The black liquid has the ability to transform and mutate any organism that comes in contact with it. The mutation takes place on a genetic level, and can even make the host organism highly hostile towards others. David uses the black liquid to infect the denizens of an entire planet. Likewise, in the novel Alien Infiltrator, a xenomorph and its host, Monica Enright, who was actually a serial killer, were injected with the black liquid on a classified Weyland Yutani research facility named Pala Station on LV-895. In the novel, 11 people were kept in containment, with xenomorph eggs, and Monica was among them. 3 was a malevolent being, with dark, leathery skin. It had mutated into a grotesque creature, even by xenomorph standards. 3 appears as a boss in Fireteam Elite. If you wish for us to dive deep into the novel Alien's Infiltration, please let us know in the comments. Also, do check out our other explanations of the comics from the Alien franchise in the video entitled Top 10 Paralyzing Brutal Xenomorph Crossovers, explained in detail. We'll put a link in the description below. Number 9. Crusher. This alien equivalent of a battle tank was introduced in the 2013 game Colonial Marines. Here, Marines from the USS Sephora fought it on LV-426. Also called Charger, it gets its name from its large bulletproof head crest that it uses to inflict blunt force trauma on its prey, and can even take down armored vehicles like an M577 APC. Crushers evolve from sentries, which are stage 5 xenomorphs. A characteristic feature of these xenomorphs is the large crest on its head. These crests are incredibly durable and bulky, with the ability to disperse heavy ammunition with ease. With a metallic black body and brown undertones, Crushers can measure anywhere between 6 and 10 feet. They essentially belong to a runner evolutionary line. Its head crest, which can be bigger than a few queens, is heavily armored, so much so that it can withstand fire from guns, like the M56 smart gun. The Crusher lowers its head crest and charges like a bull towards the target when it's in attack mode. A successful attack can cause internal hemorrhaging and bone fractures due to the force and momentum the Crushers generate while running. Their tank-like armored structure allows them to become strong defenses for the Hive or the Queen herself. However, a Crusher's strength is also its weakness, because it lowers its head to run for the attack. It practically becomes blind and cannot change its direction if the opponent moves. Due to its huge stature and sizable weight, it has limited mobility and fails to climb walls or jump to any significant distance.
Oh shit, I'm empty, cover me!
The only weak spot that a Crusher has is its back, and it's advisable to empty 10 rounds of ammo of the P9 Sonic Harpoon artillery remote projectile rifle in order to take down a Crusher. As far as its intelligence is concerned, it's probably no more intelligent than a rabid rhino or a bonkers bull. Its only purpose during combat seems to be charging at enemies. Another reason for its limited intelligence could be that it was spawned as a runner from an animal host, instead of a more intelligent species, like a Yaoja or even a human. Yet, Crushers serve as efficient and rather indispensable members when it comes to protection of the Hive. The one found in Alien's Fireteam Elite is one to behold and deadly to fight, so beware. As we mentioned earlier, these beasts are freaking living tanks, so the only reasonable strategy against them is to make one of the players distract the Crusher, while the other kills it with anything and everything they've got in their arsenal. Number 10. Facehugger. Facehuggers are stage 2 xenomorphs, and the parasitoid form of the xenomorph's life cycle. Their sole purpose in life is to impregnate their host orally, after which they automatically die. After the ovomorph opens like a blooming flower, the facehugger leaps out of it and attempts to attach itself to an unfortunate organism. It goes straight for the face with sizable force and near impeccable precision. Once at its desired target, the facehugger wraps its tail around the host's neck and locks the airway for a firm grip. Once in position, it releases the xenomorph embryos into the host's mouth, using a tube that is thrust down their throat. No host would give in easily, apart from a few maniacs who allow facehuggers willingly, so the facehuggers use their acidic blood to stop the hosts from using their limbs to remove the facehuggers. Now, while the impregnation is in process, the facehugger ensures that the host is alive by supplying oxygen. Once the process finishes, it detaches itself from the host's mouth, after which it curls up and dies. The gestation period varies depending on the organism, but it is the longest for the Yaujas, which leads to the formation known as the Predalians. To learn more about the Xenomorph's life cycle, check out our video called 8 Mind-Bending Mysteries of Xenomorph Anatomy Unraveled. Reproduction to origin, everything explored. Again, you can find the link in the description below. While the Xenomorphs of the game might feel less of a threat to a team of friends with heavy arms and ammunition, if a facehugger gets loose and latches onto any member, it can disrupt the strategy entirely. So, always make sure that you kill these little parasites before they can hatch from the eggs.
Xeno Queen! Can't hurt her! Focus on evac!
Number 11. The Queen. The Xenomorph Queen forms the basis of the Xenomorph hive, serving as its mother and leader. She not only lays the eggs, protects them, but is also the strongest and most enormous of all the Xenomorphs. And may the good Lord save the people and organisms that seek to hurt her hive or her eggs, because it is beyond a doubt that when she comes after you, she'll use all of her wits and fists against you when she hunts. There have been various fascinating versions of the Queen. Some are gigantic like the Queen Mother, and others might possess extraordinary intelligence like the LV-426 Queen, whom Ripley found. There have been queens that come out of vampires. To know more about the different variants of the Queen, check out our video called 13 Dreadful and Ghastly Xenomorph Queen Species Explored. Peek in the macabre world of Xenomorphs. Once more, take a look at the link in the description below. Now, when you find a queen in Fireteam Elite, remember that you'll only find her once. Don't stare at her and don't engage, because you'll need to save your ammo for later. Your best option is to flee from the place, because Her Highness has enough power to knock you out just one simple swing. Also, you're no Ripley, and there's no power loader for you. So, your only option against this uber formidable opponent is to simply run for your life while you still can. One last tip though, it's okay if you're not as fast as the Queen. Just make sure you're faster than your teammates, and you should be alright. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to send a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. For marvelous videos, I'm Rylan. Have a good one and be safe.